Picture this. You've just launched a CUDA kernel, and suddenly the whole program crashes. Now, when you're working on a CPU, tracking down a bug usually just means looking at a single thread of execution, right? But in the GPU world, it's a whole different ballgame. You might have thousands, maybe even millions of threads running and crashing simultaneously. So how on earth do you pinpoint the exact single thread that caused the failure? Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to figure that out together and learn how to become true GPU detectives. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with our first lines of defense, take a deep dive into cuda-gdb, look at fixing out-of-bounds problems, discuss the legacy visual profiler, and then wrap things up with modern profiling using the Nsight CLI.
All right, part 1, first lines of defense. Before we bring out the really heavy debugging artillery, our quickest tool is an old friend, the standard printf function. You can actually call this right from within a GPU kernel region, which is fantastic because each thread can print its own local state. But a quick warning here. If every single thread prints its state at the exact same time, you are going to be hit with an absolute wall of text that will practically freeze your terminal. So always use conditionals to limit exactly which threads are allowed to print.
Let's test your detective skills real quick. Imagine a scenario where every single thread in a block is trying to increment one shared memory variable at the exact same time. But they're doing it without any synchronization or atomic operations. Can you spot what's going to happen?
Well, absolute chaos is what happens. All threads read the global variable into shared memories simultaneously. Then they all add one to their local and likely stale version of that variable. Finally, they all try to write that value back. Because there's no guaranteed ordering, the threads just ruthlessly overwrite each other's work. The final value ends up totally non-deterministic. It's a classic multi-thread collision.
So, how do we fix a mess like that? First, we restrict the global memory load to just thread 0. Then, we use the sync threads command to create a waiting point so everyone catches up. After that, we use atomic add. You can think of atomic operations almost like a padlock. When one thread is adding to a variable, it temporarily locks out all the other threads from interrupting, which completely prevents those data races. And then, we just sync one more time before thread 0 safely writes the result out.
Moving on to part 2, a deep dive into cuda-gdb. Sometimes, those simple print statements just aren't going to cut it. For the really complex bugs, we need fine-grained control to pause execution and inspect memory exactly when and where we want. Now, if you've ever used GDB for CPU programming, you're going to feel right at home here because cuda-gdb brings those exact same capabilities straight to the GPU. The workflow is basically 4 steps. Set your breakpoint, run the program, switch your focus to the specific misbehaving thread, and then just step through the execution line by line.
You can set breakpoints at specific line numbers or on function names. But honestly, my absolute favorite command is set CUDA break on launch application. This thing's incredibly powerful. It tells the debugger to pause execution the very millisecond your kernel application starts launching on the GPU. It literally catches issues right at the starting line, before things can spiral out of control.
Here's what that looks like in practice. We run the debugger, it hits our breakpoint, and boom! It tells us we are focused on kernel 0, grid 1, block 0, thread 0. To investigate a completely different thread, we just type CUDA block thread and hand it the coordinates. Just like that, we've instantly narrowed our investigation from a massive grid of thousands down to a single thread's perspective. It's a total game changer.
Part 3. Fixing out-of-bounds problems. Now that we've got our execution controls mastered, let's track down a fatal out-of-bounds memory error. These are the worst because they often cause mysterious, silent crashes. By stepping through the debugger, we get our aha detective moment. We switch focus to block 1, thread 31, and print the value of our index variable, x. The debugger tells us x is 63. But why does a simple value of 63 crash our entire program? Let's break down the math. We have 32 threads per block. We're looking at block index 1 and thread index 31. The formula to find our global thread index is the block index times the block dimension plus the thread index. So 1 times 32 plus 31 equals exactly 63. The thread safely calculates its index. But look at what happens next. The code tries to access index x plus 1. It's illegally trying to reach index 64, which is literally one step beyond the memory we actually allocated for this array.
The fix here is super elegant in its simplicity. Instead of blindly assuming every calculated index is valid, we just wrap our work in a quick if x less than n condition where n is our total array size.
Adding this one straightforward bounce check gracefully retires any extra threads that happen to fall outside our data size, saving the entire kernel from a catastrophic memory violation crash. Part 4. The Legacy Visual Profiler, nvvp.
So we've solved the crashes, but in GPU programming, just working isn't enough. It has to be blazing fast. That's where profiling comes in. The Legacy Visual Profiler, nvvp, is a desktop GUI tool. The major catch, though, modern cloud development usually happens in headless environments, like Google Colab. As you can see, nvvp completely fails there. It's actually been deprecated in newer CUDA toolkits. So for modern environments, we have to replace it with command-line tools like Nsight Systems and Nsight Compute. You can literally see the evolution here. On one side, we have the dense, colorful timeline of the older nvvp, which is great for tracing API calls. But on the other side is the modern Nsight Compute UI. It's highly data-driven and offers incredible baseline comparisons. You can profile your code, tweak it, profile it again, and explicitly see the delta, the exact percentage of improvement you just squeezed out of the hardware. And finally, Part 5, Modern Profiling with the Nsight CLI. This is really where the industry is at today for cloud-based workflows. Check out this actual output from the Nsight Compute CLI. You run your script, and it spits back these incredibly detailed metrics right in your terminal. But the best part is the bottom section. It explicitly warns us about low compute throughput, indicating latency issues, and then it tells us exactly which statistics to look at next to fix it. It doesn't just throw raw data at you. It gives you actionable direction.
Building intuition with debugging tools like cuda-gdb and profilers like Nsight is the absolute secret to unlocking true parallel computing power. Without them, you're really just staring at a black box, tweaking things, and hoping for the best. But with them, you can isolate a single misbehaving thread out of millions and extract maximum performance from your hardware. So my final question to you is this. Going forward, will you remain a coder who simply guesses, or will you use these tools to become an engineer who actually knows? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy debugging.